views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
This is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Welcome to my show. Today's special guest is Chris Keaton. Hello, sir. And
Hello,
let's
Patty.
talk about you. Okay. Welcome to my show, Chris.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Mm-hmm. Where were you born and raised, kiddo?
I was born and raised in Vinton, Virginia, which is just outside of Roanoke in the southwestern part of the state.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a proud Virginian and a transplanted Tennessean.
While you were growing up, who influenced you the most? Your parents or people other than your family?
My mother was a church organist from my very earliest memory. She started playing piano actually when she was 4 years old.
Wow.
She was a huge influence on me. My father was a huge influence too, because he was a doctor. And although he sang in choirs, you know, he never was really a musician, but he encouraged me all along. In fact, when he passed away, somebody told me that they had asked him one time if he was upset that I wasn't a doctor. And he looked him in the eye and he said, no, you know, if I were as unhappy being in a rock band as Chris would be being a doctor, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So I had a pretty good support system.
Go. Where were you? Where did you go to school? Was this in?
I went to high school. I went to elementary and high school in the public school system in Roanoke County in Virginia. And then I attended Virginia Commonwealth University for a year and dropped out at the end of my first year to go on the road with a guy named Gary U.S. Bonds, who had beat 3 really big hits in the early 60s. And every song that he had hit with had a sax solo in it. Well, being a sax player, I thought, this is great. I'll go on the road at 19 years old and I'll get as much spotlight as the headliner. So I did. And actually, within a few months of being on the road with him, we started opening for Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, which was wonderful. So it was really, everything worked out.
So what were the songs that the gent that you were working with the first time you went out?
He had a huge hit called Quarter to Three and another one called Dance Little Sister. And then another one that was Twist Senorita. So he was really very popular.
I remember. I'm 70 this year, so I remember, kiddo. So what genre is your music?
Well, the music that I create is a little bit all over the place, but in the position I'm in the music industry now, I work with all kinds of writers and all kinds of artists, a lot of country artists since I'm based in Nashville.
So you play the, what do you call it?
It's called the saxophone.
Okay, who taught you that then?
My band director in high school, Ray Landreth. And then when I went to college, there was a gentleman named Wally Bettman who has passed away now, but he taught me a lot about playing sax, and he taught me about the game of life as well. I mean, he was another very big influence on me.
How many instruments? Just that, or piano, or guitar, or just saxophone, or?
No, I also play piano.
Piano. Mom teach you that?
She did indeed.
Then you must be excellente. She's a good teacher.
I can hold my own. That's what I would say. I can tell you this though, I've had a grand piano in my house for a very long time, and for about a 10-year period, I walked past it every day. Never even sat down. But then one day it spoke to me, and now I play every day. So it's really a gift.
And over the years, how many bands did you play in?
20 plus.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah.
Wow.
It was playing in bands was a great thing. And actually, I'm sitting in with another band now from time to time, which is really kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. And what's that one called?
This band is called the Kings, and they've been around in southwestern Virginia for the last 50 years, and they only play about 20 days a year. But a few months ago, the lead singer got sick, and my friend who was the leader of the band asked if I would sit in with them, and so I played about 6 dates with them. It's been quite fun.
Yeah, it's quite an experience, an honor, really.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing nowadays? I mean, what job, role? Are you an author? Are you an author?
Yes, I am an author, but that's not really the main thing I do. The latest book that I have out is a book called Dapper. It's all about being a gentleman. It's available at Amazon. It's also available at bookbaby.com. But I mean, on a day-to-day basis, I'm a connector. And let me share with you what that is.
Okay.
So in really pretty much any industry, you can't get in the door unless you know somebody. You have to have a referral. Well, Malcolm Gladwell, the author, wrote in his book, The Tipping Point, about people called connectors. And they are people who know a lot of other people in the industry in which they serve, and they're in the habit of introducing other people. So that's what I do. I have emerging artists and songwriters all over the world who hire me to make introductions for them within the music industry. And I'm very blessed and very humbled by the success that I've had doing that.
I'm glad you're doing that, because a lot of people do have a tough time getting into the music world, you might say, and you're like a foot in the door, and allowing it to remain open for some people to get in. And
that is correct. Yes.
Yeah. So this is like networking, or how do?
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Zoom? Pardon me?
Do you do Zoom with your customers?
I do it from time to time. I prefer other methods, but I do use Zoom when it's necessary. I'm on the phone a lot with people, and I do a lot of in-person meetings with folks as well.
Do they come to you, or you have to go to them, or vice, or just?
I don't travel as much as I used to. I used to travel a lot, but these days it's basically between Virginia and Tennessee, New York and LA, and sometimes Chicago. But I don't travel a whole lot these days.
Did you ever go to Canada?
Yes, as a matter of fact, for several years, I attended the Canadian Country Music Awards. I had a wonderful time. There's a gentleman up there who lives in Oshawa named Jim Hobson, who is very, very strong in that country market industry in Canada, and he's a dear friend of mine.
Your mission is to help singers, songwriters. Do you critique their music for them?
I do offer that service as well. Yes, I do.
And your role with the Connector, you're the CEO of it? Or?
I am the only one. It is a one-man show.
There you go. Your website, what is that called? What is your website?
My website is chriskeaton.com. That is ChrisKeaton.com. You can go there. You can subscribe to my weekly newsletter. Actually, it's more than weekly. It's 3 times a week.
Oh, yeah.
You can subscribe to that. It's free. It's very valuable to songwriters and emerging artists, and I highly recommend that they do it. I also have blog posts on there with a lot of my writing. You can also check out the books that I have written and the books that I'm about to write too.
Oh, how
Telling
many
you right
books?
here, there's a new one coming.
Oh, wow. So, how many books have you written?
I have written one book, and I am a co-author on a second book on two other books. One is called The Change, edition 14, and the one before that is called The 7 Stupid Mistakes That People Make Trying to Break into the Music Business. And they do make them. Here's the thing. I mean, you know, whether you choose to believe this or not, the Lord gave you a gift, and it is your duty to share that gift with other people. If you don't, you're just going to take it to the grave with you. And who gets any benefit out of that?
So you've been really a big booster for the singers and songwriters.
I have had quite a lot of success, and I'm humbled by it. But it really comes down to the fact that I get to work with really, really talented people. I mean, I'm working with a couple of people now. I'm actually working with a lot of people, but two people in particular with just amazing stories. There's a gentleman named Alan Corby who's got a Christmas song on the charts right now. He's a great guitar player. He happened to be, for those people who are listening who know who Bela Fleck is, Alan was his guitar teacher. Bela Fleck is a hugely successful musician. Right. I'm also working with a gentleman named Kenyon Gray, who was a firefighter and had a record deal in the 20 years ago, gave it up to take care of some situations with his family. I'm just going to leave it at that because we're about to introduce his story worldwide, and it's really compelling. Yes. But he's a marvelous Christian artist. And then I'm working with a gentleman named Brendan McNeil, who's based in Colorado, who is about to do a tribute to Johnny Cash, which is mind-blowing. I mean, it's crazy. Wow. So those are three of the people that I'm working with, but I'm working with a lot of others as well. I'm also working with a gentleman named Reg Houston, who lives in Carmel, California, an amazing lyricist. He comes from the opera world. A guy named Michael Chang, who is a symphony director, conductor, composer. I mean, I really have a great life. I get to deal with all these tremendously creative people, and it's pretty wonderful.
Very talented. And you're there for a reason. That's your mission, to help others.
That's exactly right. My job is to help them blossom. My job is to inspire, to also to hold them accountable. I'm sorry?
I said, oh yeah, how accountable. In what way? How?
Well, I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, an artist or a songwriter is on a path. And with any path or any highway or any road, you have to have a set of guardrails. And the guardrails keep you going in the right direction. That's what I do. I use inspiration. I use motivation. I listen to people. I listen to what they say. I mean, here's the bottom line. This is, you know, there is a golden rule, but there's a second golden rule too. And the second golden rule is you have two ears and one mouth, use them accordingly. And I think that's something to live by. Don't you?
I think so. Being a writer for a long time, I self-taught myself. I did a little bit of Berkeley. Okay, a little bit of that, but I read books, watched videos, and I learned the hard way how to write, and for people to get interested in what I want to share with them. I've worked with Native American people, someone from the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. I'm very pro-life, so I write pro-life songs, and it makes me feel good. It's like therapy. So it's good. So when you're helping people, That's like therapy for you, isn't it? Helping.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it is. I hadn't really thought about it in that regard, but I suppose it is kind of like therapy for me.
Makes you
Yeah.
feel good. That
Yeah.
Have you won any awards over the years?
I have indeed. There are some behind me here. You can see some gold and platinum albums that I've gotten for connecting people. I also was inducted into the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame in 2016. Yes, which is tremendous. Yes, and I'm also a almost 30-year voting member of the Recording Academy, so that I get to vote on the Grammys every year, which is wonderful. And it's a great organization. Anybody out there who is a musician or a songwriter or who's in the industry in any way whatsoever really should be a member of the Recording Academy. It's great for networking.
How do you become a member?
You go on the Grammy.com and see if you qualify. And if you do, you can sign up and be a member.
Do you have to have songs, singles that are
You have
out
to
there?
have, yes, yes, in order to be a voting member, you have to have music which is commercially available, either for streaming or online or vinyl sales or whatever. But you can become an associate member in different ways too.
Ah, I'm interested, In Toronto, I was with the Juno Awards.
Right.
Carrots. So I like to be a part of Grammys now. I'm very interested. And I'm also with BMI.
Mm-hmm.
So you critique people's songs. How do you do that?
I ask people to send me recordings of their songs and a lyric sheet, and I sit and go through them and try to point out the good and the not so good and try to help them with constructive criticism.
That's good. We need that to improve, to mature.
I agree.
Right. So what are the do's and don'ts to rate other songwriters and singers' work?
Well, don't be so heavy-handed that you scare them away. I mean, I know some people who are in the critiquing business who probably have run off people who could have been great songwriters, but they got shut down because the critiquer decided that they wanted to take out their inner anger on this songwriter. I think that's criminal, to be perfectly honest.
I don't think that's fair, yeah.
I mean, the bottom line to it is this: music is a subjective medium. People like things for different reasons. There's no one thing that makes a song great.
That's right.
Because you could play a song for me that all your friends and fans tell you is not that good, and I could go, you know what, this is a hit song, or vice versa. But it's bottom line is, every song is not for everybody. If it were, it'd be a pretty boring place to be, don't you think?
Gotcha. I hear you now. Wow. Whoa. So, and the don'ts part of it, you don't send more than 3 songs, only a limited amount, so long each.
I would even say there's one before that. You don't send anything to anybody without asking permission for it first. I can't tell you how many times I get emails from people and it starts out with, hey, I've attached 5 songs for you to listen to. Let me share with you what happens when that happens. Delete. Because it's first off, it's impolite.
Right, it's rude.
It's like the cold calls that you and I get on the telephone every day going, and it starts out with going bloop, and then it's somebody offshore asking you if you've gotten your new Medicare card. Like, really? Yeah.
We had that.
So, yeah. So all I'm saying is that it's a very simple process for songwriters to get into the business if they want to. It's very easy. Number 1, ask permission of someone. Number 2, once you get permission, then don't send them more than 2 or 3 songs because they don't have time for that. Right. And number 3, when you're
Great.
waiting for them to respond, give
Yeah.
them ample time. Follow
Right.
up with them, but find that place, find that sweet spot between being in somebody's face and being on their mind. If you can get there, you can get anybody to listen to you. All music industry professionals want is for people to be nice and
That's
be,
right.
and be,
Relationship, but like I said,
yeah, yeah.
build a relationship with that person, and then say, hey, I did some songs. Is there any way I can share with you?
That's right.
Right. That's good. I've been dealing with a lot of singers on my show over almost 13 years now. Anyways, long time, kid.
Well, but before we go away from that, though, let me also say this. I mean, I'll put this out there because I put it out there all the time. I am happy for people to email me, Chris, CHRIS, at chriskeaton.com. Send me an email, ask my permission. I'll be happy to listen to your songs. I won't do a critique for free, but I will listen to your songs and tell you if I think they have merit or if they don't. And then if you'd like to get a critique, we can work that out afterwards. But listen, my door is always open. It'd be foolish for me not to have an open door.
Because there's one person out there, or many people out there, who are turning into another Pavarotti and all that. Oh, my stars.
Bingo. You're exactly right, Patty.
I've been writing, like I said, 35 years. It took me a long time to get myself motivated and write how I feel. To be exactement, it's good. It helps me a lot, letting people know how I really feel like something, and when I'm in a fighting mood or something. You know what I mean? What would you like to share with my audience to encourage them that you are there for them?
Well, I would just say my website is chriskeaton.com. My email is chris@chriskeaton.com.
You're on Facebook?
I am on Facebook, facebook.com/Chris Keaton Music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also on Instagram at Chris J. Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty easy to find. I mean, the bottom line here is I'm in the business to help people. And as long as people want to play by the rules, I'm happy to help them any way I can.
Well, there's always got to be some sort of structure, rules.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be helter-skelter and all that sort of thing.
Well, right. And as you well know, Patty, the bottom line is this is a business. This is not music fooling around. This is music business. So I have to run it like a business. But, again, my business is being a connector. And I try to help worthy people get connected within the industry. So it's really as simple as that.
That's what we need you, man. Do you cover all of the United States?
I cover the entire world. And as soon as we get to the other planets where there's life, I may be there too if I'm still around.
You should be so lucky. Anyway, thank you, sir.
You were so very welcome.
I want to have you back.
I was just going to say thank you for having me on here. I mean, this was really, really great. I really do appreciate it. And God bless you. Thank you so much.
I'd like to have you back on when something cool comes up, okay?
Absolutely.
You're a nice guy. I like you, man.
Thank you very much, Patty.
Very calm and easy to talk to, which is cool. Behave yourself and not have fun. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
This is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page saying goodbye. We'll see you next week. And thank you, Chris Keaton, for coming on my show. And go to the Connectors online. See what he can do for you. God bless you, man.
Thank you very much.
my love. God is with us always, and for the rest of all our